As always, starting with a few deep breaths in and out of your nose. Sitting your hips back to your heels. Maybe walking your fingers a little bit further forward, drawing your elbows down to your mat. Opening up through your shoulders. And taking a moment to let go of anything that was holding on to your mind before. And today I'd like to encourage you to really observe yourself during this practice today. Something that you might already do every time we practice yin yoga. But this time really tune into what thoughts come up. How do you feel? And facing the dragon when it comes. And with that, I mean, if something comes up that you feel like is uncomfortable in the moment, is maybe not super pleasant, take some time to sit with it and see if you can observe emotion rather than become absorbed in it. And often when we acknowledge that something is there and we sit with it, we face it, it either turns out to be a lot less big than what we initially thought it would be, or maybe it is something big, but then by sitting with it often brings you something incredibly rewarding, insights about yourself or about situations. From here, whenever you feel ready, gently round and curl yourself all the way up. You can move through tabletop if you like, sinking your hips down to the floor, keeping your feet hip width, and then coming all the way down onto your elbows, starting in Sphinx pose. If you like, you can stay here without props, making sure that your neck is relaxed, your elbows are gently pushing into the floor, making sure your shoulders are not like this, plugged up to your ears. But if you prefer, you can also take some props here, like for example, a cushion underneath your chest and a block maybe underneath your chin. Making sure that whenever you're in a posture, you're not using props just for the sake of it, but because they actually enhance your posture and your experience of the asana. And if you're propped up and you feel like you don't want to bring your prop any higher, but you do want to feel a slightly intenser back bend, you can take the toes or the feet to touch. And then, of course, if you don't want to lower it, but you want a slight relief through your spine, you can take your feet a little bit wider. Making sure that however close or far apart your legs are from one another, they are relaxed. Staying here for 3 more minutes. Notice the rise and fall of your belly against the floor. Keeping your eyes closed, relaxing your jaw, your eyebrows. And as you are here, simply observe. Notice what this posture does for your body. Where do you feel it most? Knowing that you can always start with observing the physical, or the emotional, or the mental for this moment feels like too much or too little stop. And then from here, breathing in to gently press yourself up onto your hands, removing your props from your mat. And then when you're ready, coming back onto your elbows, sliding your right knee up beside you to 90 degrees, lifting your right elbow off and leaving your left arm all the way under, bringing your left shoulder to the same height as your wrist, and then slowly rolling all the way open into a spinal twist. And if you feel like this is too intense, you can always roll back onto your spine a little bit more until your right shoulder blade touches the floor. And if then your knee is falling or hanging off of the mat, something that you can do is you can take a block and put it underneath your ankle so that you're a little bit more supported. Maybe you want to take your left hand to your knee, your right hand to your right side rib cage. Keeping your eyes facing the right side. But then, of course, keeping the eyes closed. Again, noticing first maybe the physical. How does this posture alter your breath? How does it feel for your spine? Where do you feel the posture the most? And into which body parts does this sensation extend itself? And then also know how you feel right here, right now. Are you feeling calm, relaxed, happy, sad, angry, joyful? Whatever it is, meet yourself where you are. Staying here one more minute. And then gently breathing in to come all the way back center. Sliding your right knee down, unraveling your left arm, sliding your left knee up, and weaving your right arm underneath your left shoulder to then roll open. Breathing in to get tall and exhale to rinse deep. Again, if you like, you can take a prop, put it underneath your left ankle if your left knee is lifted off of the floor. If this feels too much, you can continue to roll more onto the spine. If you want more, you keep your pelvis facing the floor. And again, maybe bringing left hand to left side rib cage, right hand to right knee. And if you find yourself distracted at any point, you bring yourself back to your practice, tuning into the subtleties, the right here, the right now. Last minute here. With your next inhale, gently roll yourself all the way onto your spine, recentering yourself back onto your mat if you need, hugging both knees into your chest, and then using the strength of your legs to slowly come all the way up, or coming up into another way if you prefer. Kicking your legs out in front of you, making sure that your bum is out of the way. Inhaling to bring your arms all the way up to the sky. And then for me, I personally like to have my knees a little bit bent here. And then exhale to fold yourself all the way up and forward, grabbing either your feet, your ankles underneath your knees. And from here, if you like, you can always straighten the legs further. Just know that you don't need to. Making sure that wherever your hands land, it is not a workout for the arms. This posture is for your hamstrings and for your lower back. And if getting to a certain depth of the posture means that your arms have to work very hard, then it's not worth it. Dial back. Staying here for 5 minutes in total. Making sure that you're breathing into your belly, in and out of your nose. Making sure that you have found the edge of your posture, and then finding stillness there. And with the edge, I don't mean at the brink of injury. The edge is kind of where you feel that something is happening, and something that is sustainable that you can hold for about 5 minutes. But it's also not like nothing is happening in your body. Some shift is being made, but it's not excruciating, it's not damaging, it's not painful. Softening your neck and your eyebrow if you feel like there is any tension there. And again, bringing your awareness inwards, observing how you are mentally, emotionally, physically. And if you feel like you've come to a point where you feel like, well, we're here for an hour. Am I supposed to observe myself for the full hour? Then the answer is yes. Because, naturally, we are ever shifting, our thoughts constantly change, so do our feelings. And there are always things that even we can discover about ourselves if we just pay a little bit more attention. And in case you feel bored observing yourself, make sure that you're not actually distracted by your mind and your thoughts, just telling yourself that it is boring, because I'm sure you're more interesting than that. Breathing in to slowly come all the way up to seated. Once you get there, gently bend your knees, placing the soles of the feet on your mat to slowly roll all the way back onto your spine. Taking the soles of your feet together, and then let your knees fall wide into your Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly. Taking your left hand maybe to your heart, your right hand to your belly. Giving your spine some time to settle and recover from that deep forward bend. Taking note of your breath, the pause between inhalation and exhalation, the rise and fall of your belly. And maybe you can pick up your own heartbeat as well. And if you feel like this posture is becoming too intense for your hips, you can always put blocks underneath your knees to soften the stretch. Or maybe you like to put the blocks on top of your knees if you want to intensify the stretch a little bit more. But then, of course, if you have foam blocks, that might not be of very much use putting them on top. In that case, maybe you want to use something a little bit more weighty. From here, breathing in to bring your knees together gently. Heel toe, your feet out wide as your mat, or maybe even wider, to let your knees fall inwards. You should feel a stretch throughout the outside of your upper legs, sending your knees both inwards but also ever so slightly forwards. If you don't feel the stretch, you can always walk your knees wider or your feet wider. From here, when you feel ready, take a gentle breath in and the gentle breath out to hug your knees into your chest, rolling to one side so that we can press ourselves up into seated and come to tabletop facing the front of our mat. From here, we're coming into half pigeon, sliding the right knee forward, bringing your right foot to the left side of your mat. Doesn't have to be 90 degrees, but of course, if you can, feel free to go there. And then from here, walk yourself all the way down, keeping your right hip to pull back and your left hip to pull forward. Tucking the left toes under if you have difficulty keeping the left kneecap on the mat. And then maybe again, you want to take a pillow or a block. And in yin, we lack a warm up. And therefore, we might not go as deep into these postures as when we practice vinyasa or any other movement style. So don't worry if you feel less flexible here or at any point when practicing yin. Staying here for 2 more minutes. And again, keeping your eyes closed. Observing how you are. And breathing in to come all the way back up onto your hands. Sliding your right knee back, your left knee forward, and then stretching your right leg back again. Coming forward onto the elbows, setting yourself up on your props if you like. Staying here for 4 minutes from now. And see if you can find that stillness mentally and physically. I know it's going to be tempting to move maybe just your pinky finger, just the big toe. But see if you can find stillness in both body and mind. Last 2 minutes here. And breathing in to come all the way back up. Taking your props out of the way. And then sliding your weight over to your left hip so that we can come all the way back onto our spine. And breathing in to straighten your arms all the way up above your head. Make yourself as tall as possible. Then start to walk your shoulder blades all the way over to the left, making sure that your hips stay heavy on the floor. It's just the shoulder blades that move. Left hand grabs right wrist and then let your arms fall heavy on the floor. Right arm can be bent. And then from here, walk your feet all the way over to the left side of your mat, maybe even off of your mat, crossing your right ankle over your left. Making sure again that both of your hip bones or sit bones are still heavy on the floor. Staying here for about 3 minutes. Squeezing your left hip up gently, your left shoulder down. Making sure your neck is relaxed. Your eyebrows are soft. Last minute here. Breathing in to slowly come all the way back center. Again, making ourselves as tall as possible when we get there. And then exhale to walk your shoulders all the way over to your right, opposite direction. Right hand grabs left wrist, and then your feet walk themselves all the way over to your right. Left ankle crosses your right. And breathing into the left side rib cage. Focusing on your breath, the physical sensation, observing, and simply noting what is here right now. From here again, we breathe in to unravel and walk ourselves all the way back center, making ourselves as tall as possible when you get there. And then as you exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big hug. Bring your nose to your knees if that feels good. Squeezing every single muscle that you've got in your gut body. You squeeze, squeeze, tense, tense, tight, tight. And then with your next exhale, we fall wide for Shavasana. Taking a big breath in through the nose, filling up your belly, your chest, and your throat. And then a big sigh out. Making sure all air is expelled from the lungs. And then taking a breath in through the nose for a count of 4, starting now for 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out for a count of 8, 2, 3, 4. Through the nose, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last round. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gently letting your breath return to its natural rhythm from here. Taking sips of air in and out of your nose as you need them. And once again, tune into the subtleties of the moment. Acknowledge where your body is in space. For example, note where your toes are, how far away from your face from the rest of your body. Notice where your hands are, your arms, your legs, and your torso. And with your eyes closed, see if you can also note or sense where your body is in comparison to the rest of the room. Shifting your awareness to the outer layer of the body. Noticing where your skin comes in touch with your mat. Maybe or maybe not the floor beneath that mat. Where is your skin enveloped by your clothes? And where is it exposed to air? Moving a layer deeper into the body, to the soft tissues. Letting your eyes fall heavy into their sockets. Melting your tongue off of the roof of your mouth. Notice how air is cool when it enters your nose. How it fills up your lungs and pushes up your belly with every breath in. And then notice how your belly sinks as you breathe out. How your lungs empty. And how the air feels warmer with your exhale. And bringing your awareness to your heart space, to maybe find your heartbeat. And then from here, moving to the deepest layer of the physical body, your bones. And from this deepest layer, from that which provides you of your structure. Find a moment to thank your body for carrying you, for doing all that it does for you in your day-to-day life. Allow your body to soften, relax, and fall heavy. Knowing that your body deserves to be treated with both love and respect. And we can show love and respect to our own body in the way that we talk about it, the way that we think about it, talk to ourselves, in the way that we move, the things that we eat. And then take a conscious moment to also thank yourself, your spirit, your mind, your heart, your soul, for showing up, for being exactly who you are right here and right now. Knowing that even though flawed is always enough. And then from here, feel free to stay and to remain for however long you need today. Yet, when you feel ready, take a gentle breath in through your nose and a gentle breath out to bring you back to this moment. Starting to gently move your fingers and your toes. And eventually, in your own way and in your own time, feel free to come all the way back up to seated.